Hi, my name is Michelle, and I'm on a journey to grow and expand here on YouTube. This is a video a day series where I'm posting one video every single day to YouTube as best as I can, disciplined and consistent. So, in hopes to have an experiment of growing and hopefully reaching more people than not on YouTube to ultimately have more freedom creatively and mentally and physically, all of the things. So, if that is something you're interested in tuning into, be sure to hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, maybe share and comment some of your challenges and experiences, and maybe some experiments that you're doing within this year of 2025. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you on the inside. So, today I wanted to create space for going over, questioning, self-reflecting, contemplating the 20-day challenge that I don't even know why I can't ever find the words correctly to maybe own or like honor myself with about this challenge, but I hosted, maybe that's the correct term, but I hosted a 20-day challenge from December 13th to January 1st. And I'm formulating questions to ask myself, as well as like already doing a little bit of a deeper dive within that of how did it go for me, like maybe some advice I want to share. So today I'm creating this space in order to ask myself these self-reflective questions, and I wanted to take you along with me while I do that because I figured while it would be good to not only share my self-reflective questions, but I think in this for the sake of making a video today, it would help you also, myself, and I, and you, everyone's involved here, um, to kind of give you a little bit of the back end of what it takes and what happens when we do set up to create a video. Like, a lot of creatives, artists, people don't just hit a button and create the video. I mean, I do a lot of times, but you can see there's a difference between like what is being put out there and people who have done their research and who create really impactful videos. Not saying that there's a quality that's better than another, because I think everybody relates to certain people for other reasons, and not everybody has to be a cookie cutter example of that. But it does help, like in the very first video, and one of the first videos I posted, like my partner said too, have pinpoints, have pain points, have things that you're going to reference within them. So it's not necessarily cut and dry, but it's concise, and it creates a very aesthetic and pleasing, and the tone and everything about the video in general is put together very well. So I wanted to bring you into the world a little behind the scenes about what it takes in order to get there, and for the sole purpose of also too it being that we're not all perfect, and though these videos are so effortlessly put together that you see on YouTube, not everybody has it well put together ahead of time, and sometimes it takes weeks, days, hours to create just one thing to talk about, to formulate, to um make these videos really impactful in the way that it looks like it was just effortless, is what I'm trying to get at. And of course there's so much more that goes into just talking about the thing that you're going to record. There's so many other things that come with it, and the people that do have these things all well put together, a lot of times have assistants and people who help them in the back end. And some people are just whizzes and they got this and their game is on game and they can do it all day, every day. And that's beautiful, far impactful for people who can do that. That's amazing. But what I'd like to offer you today is the sheer fact that anybody can do it so long as you believe in yourself and you don't compare yourself to others. And that's a solid practice for myself, but also because I'm here for consistency while also taking time to process what I need to process instead of trying to rush through this just to create a video where I'm giving you all of the things that I'm going to be talking about, that I'm going to be referencing today, that is going to be saved for another video. So what I mean is I'm brainstorming, journaling out, as well as asking myself these questions in order to create another video where it will be even more streamlined and I will hit on these points and it will then look like a video that was created effortlessly. But here is the back end. This is where we're going today. I'm going to be asking myself what it was like essentially for me to be a host on this 20-day challenge experience and hopefully offering some guidance and wisdom to those of you who may be interested in doing something like this on your own and or who are just curious about what it's like to be consistent on something for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, however long, these challenges are. It's a very popular thing these days. So however long these challenges go, what it's like to show up for yourself and maybe for something else if you feel like you want to study something or you're going back to school, those types of things, and you want to embrace more of this knowledge of something new, or just again challenging yourself in ways that maybe you haven't before. And this is what I want to talk about today. So I want to do a little overhead view of what I've written, and then maybe we can answer some of these questions together. So stay tuned. Alright, so I've already kind of written down some thoughts because it usually tends to happen. Maybe you can relate where you're in the shower and or you're getting out of the shower, or a lot of times this happens to me too where I'm driving in the car and there is no pen, paper, or place for me to immediately get my ideas down. So you have to like rush to find the nearest piece of paper or phone, or you can find a place to write something down and you rush over, you pull over to the side of the road. However it happens for you. This happens to me quite often. And I don't want to miss out on those opportunities to write down what I'm feeling in that moment, because these are the times that we generally just pass them off because maybe we feel like they're insignificant, or it doesn't play a bigger role in the grand scheme of what it is that we're accomplishing. But today was one of those days where I was getting out of the shower and I was like, this has gotta be the video today. I've gotta write down these things so that I can answer them and then record the pain points that I'm talking about. Well, I started thinking about other things, and then I made a little note section here where I started writing about a different topic, and I was like, that doesn't even match with this. So guess what? I didn't waste time, obviously, because I'm writing on really impactful things, but I thought, wouldn't it be even more helpful if there was a video that I created to not only give myself more time to really deep dive into the questions I really want to answer about this 20-day challenge, but wouldn't it be helpful for other people too to know that like every video that comes out on YouTube is not an immediate thought. Like, these people think about these things, they write them down, they contemplate them, and then they reflect, and then they create, talking points, and then maybe they have a projector where they're reading off of a script, and like there's so many different aspects to these things that people just don't share. Not because it's necessarily important, but they don't share it because they already have a system that works for them. And I'm just kind of like here enlightening us all. If you didn't know, maybe you do know, but I want to let you know that I'm also not perfect. And this is the point. One of the, excuse me. One of the points I'm trying to make here with this is I want to show you what I'm doing in order to prepare for another video that you will see, hopefully maybe tomorrow, but definitely sometime during this challenge I'm experiencing, of, a video a day for January in 2025, that these are the things that we're going to be talking about, and it doesn't just come out all at once. Like, I have to have time for myself to really ask myself these questions, because I want to be honest, I want to be truthful, and I want to be transparent. Most importantly, I want to show you that I'm not perfect, but also because I find the imperfection to be perfect in and of itself. And I feel really honored to be able to be in front of a camera and do this, regardless of how many people see it. I know it's going to get into the right hands. So, what I started to ask myself while I was in the shower and that I had to rush to get to my journal about was, I'm contemplating this 20-day challenge, and I really wanted to share my thoughts on, how that would help me get more clear about the 20-day challenge for others to maybe possibly, like I said earlier, do this for themselves, or if they're considering taking a 20-day challenge or a 30-day challenge or however many day challenge is being called to you at whatever time. So the first thing that came to mind was what went right. So immediately I want to make the note of, okay, the experience I had, I do know things went really, really well, but I also know things could have been a lot better. So my next question is, what could have been better? And I've got to be honest about that. And I was honest about that even through the 20-day challenge. Like, I had to email my 18 people that signed up to let them know that, like, some days I wasn't on time. And it wasn't like I even gave them the idea that I was going to be on time every day, because I never mentioned what time I would post the challenge every day. But I did want to get these challenges out as soon as possible. And some days that just didn't happen because there were so many things that I could have done better. And I want to be able to explain that in that video. And then I want to also acknowledge, my next thought was, why jumping into an experience like this is the best. Like, just doing something. There's so many aspects of what happened that I couldn't have done if I had like overanalyzed and overthought and planned, and I would have never done it. So just jumping in, why that is the best option, I really truly think is the better option. And then, because I was super inspired to do this challenge, not only was I feeling this call to do the challenge, I got a lot of inspiration from a um, course I was taking with Dan Coe, one of my favorite, I would say, just people in general. I want to find better words for him, and maybe I will in that video when I explain it, but I want to find some of my favorite quotes from him, because he has some amazing quotes that are just so impactful. So I want to create a space in that video where I give some really impactful quotes that I know will help others as much as they had helped me. So I made a note there to do that. And then the last thing I want to note, because I want to make sure the video isn't too long, that it is digestible and I can put it out in a reasonable time, is any advice I have, practical and nuanced. So that felt really, really important to me. It's like, people, not only myself, I would like to know, like, what kind of advice do I have for people looking to do something like this, and or like either be a challenger or the challengee, um, practically, and maybe some things that are new and fresh and maybe unheard of. I wanted to make a note there. So these are the things that I made notes of to self-reflect for myself and for others, in the next video. So just to make this short and sweet, I want to really think about these things with my own mind, of course, but by myself, without feeling like I need to rush through them just to get a video out. Even though this video is one of those videos where I'm idealizing or brain dumping is what I'm trying to think of, pardon me. Brain dumping some things where I can record a video in the future that would help me and others in the future. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you. And at first, I did feel like maybe I would be able to get through this and share some of these thoughts and go through them with you. But now that I've run up a little bit of the time, I think I'm just going to leave that there and show you later what comes of these thoughts. But here are some things, like I said, to consider if you are looking to maybe even this video itself helps you and inspires you to do a little bit more present, patient, slow and steady work rather than just busting something out just because you have a time frame. Are you giving yourself a time frame for it to be perfect? So anywhoser, that is one of the ideas. And there's another thing down here again that I started blasting out because I kept feeling like I had multiple thoughts coming through, and I was like, that's another good video idea. So it really helps to have a journal, to have something on hand nearby. Usually I used to. I need to do this again because it's been happening. It always happens. I don't know why I took it out, but I used to have a journal in my car. I had a journal. I do have a journal by my bed. I have a journal on my desk. And usually there's another one randomly somewhere in the house or in a bag or something that I carry. But I have journals everywhere. And I would recommend that you do that if you are somebody who is a creative and you just have ideas all the time. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap this portion up and get back to you where you can see my face. So, now that I kind of rambled, spambled, this is gonna become my new favorite word, or quote, or phrase, or whatever. I am going to honestly get to starting on this because I feel charged up and ready to answer these questions for myself. So I want to make sure this video goes out and that by day 6, oh my gosh, I'm on day 6, with creating a video, posting it every day, and honoring my consistency and discipline as it is continued through this year because it started on December 13th, where I felt really empowered to do so, and I still feel charged up to do so. We're continuing rolling with it and honoring this space that has been given. And again, I kind of mentioned that when we were looking at my journal, where I just wanted to touch on one last thing before I close out was I feel very, um, well, I am grateful. I feel so very blessed that there is the opportunity to be in front of a camera like this and have the opportunity to be in front of other people, no matter how many people see it, if it's 1, 12, whatever. We're celebrating the small wins over here because I only have a small, I wouldn't even say small. I'm not even going to write that into history. Reverse. Um, I'm going to say the amount of people that I have, I am so blessed that are my subscribers that maybe do tune in more than I'm aware of, and the new people who do join me and see what it is that I'm putting out here and wish to, bless me with a little subscribe and help me get to more subscribers and in front of more people where I can take more time to make these things more of a solid practice where I can spend more time in front of a camera and talk about more things in front of a camera. And I'm just really blessed to be able to do this at the time that I have and making the time that I have in order to do this. because we're all about creating your reality here, and you have to have the intention with the action and attention. So here's to manifesting more of this and creating more abundance and prosperity that comes from this, and taking this challenge, this experiment, this experience of a video a day in January to the heart, and really honoring that with myself, and maybe inspiring more people to do so, and trusting that it doesn't have to be perfect, that you can do what it is that you really deeply desire, and just embrace that it's not going to be perfect, especially at first. Um, and yeah, that's just my reminder in closing out about how special this is, and to not take it for granted. And to, again, for the people maybe who feel a little overwhelmed with like AI and technology becoming on the rise, like, we are still the source of that power, and we have to look at it from the lens of we are the ones who are creating. It's not the AI that's creating, it's not the technology that's creating. We are the ones behind it, the source of it. So, what I mean by that is we can be on top of these things and look at it as in a certain lens, or we can let it defeat us and overrule us and give it more power than it needs to have, or that it's capable of even having. These are really beautiful things that we can really just hold in a deep respect for. And that's the way that I want to look at it, and that I choose to look at it. And it's such a loaded topic that I don't really feel personally I can get into in just one small clip, so I'm not going to. So that's where I'm going to cap that today. Thank you for being a part of this journey with me. If you've watched this far, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will say, I know people do say this in so many videos, is because the people who are creating really do take so much time and energy out of their day to do these things, and it really does so much help if you do hit the subscribe button and if you like the videos, because that blasts more of this content on people's pages and home pages and all the things where we can get seen and to subscribe more. And there's so many benefits why people are on here, so many reasons why people are on here. So just take into account that if you've even watched even a slightest amount of somebody's video, a like and subscribe does so much for them, and I would greatly appreciate it. And I am talking for myself as well. Thank you again for your appreciation, your support, and for being here with me. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Namaste.